Wow, what a turn of events. Not just being in the weather we have in Cornwall, nice and windy, feels like a winter's day again, but the events to do with Close Brothers again, and the financial ombudsman. So stay tuned. Yeah, welcome again. My name's Quinn, and this is the story, or the continuation saga, of my love of Indian motorcycles. Yeah, this is more in regards to the poor service I have from the dealership. Also the poor service we have in the UK from Polaris Britain Limited. The coverage for Indians in the UK is not the best, to say the least. For me personally, I have a dealership 20-30 minutes away, which is good, but on the other hand, they're not a very good dealership. Certainly not for me. The service they provided is far from satisfactory, and they've actually damaged the motorcycle. So that's led me into the situation I am now, of trying to resurrect it and fight it, which is not an easy situation or an easy thing to do, which I've tried to explain in the series of videos. Obviously the situation first started in October 2021. The bike was new to me, brand new, in March 2020. Now, I love the brand. I'm not going to move from the brand. No matter what is tried to be forced on me, I'm happy with the motorcycle. The issues I've had are purely down to service and uncertainty. What I mean in that is, you take a bike into a dealership, that dealership is then given the authority to put the name Indian Motorcycles on their shop. They're allowed to sell those motorcycles. They then have their their mechanics or engineers trained to work on those motorcycles. So that should give you some sort of assurance that when you take that motorcycle in, that it's actually going to be looked after. But that's far from the case in this situation. So my beef is not with the motorcycle itself. My beef is with not knowing what the hell the dealership's done to it, not knowing what warranty work's being carried out, and if work has actually been done that they told me it's been done. At no time do they issue any paperwork with warranty work. If you take the bike in for an issue which they decide not warranty work, but they sort out anyway in this good faith scenario, again you don't get any paperwork. What's been done or what hasn't been done to the motorcycle. So at the same time, I have no proof that parts have been changed that I've been told have been changed. So the situation I'm in is I'm just trying to get to the truth, to get the bottom of things. As you know, I turned to Polaris Britain to try and help. They basically slammed the door in my face and said, yeah, they're aware of the issues, but they don't really care. I don't know the reason why they don't want to follow this up. You would have thought they would be keen to keep the customers happy, but obviously not, because I'm not an isolated situation. The more this carries on, the more people approach me, and I've got similar problems with Polaris Britain. The legal recourse, as I've been explaining, in the situation I'm in, it's under finance with Close Brothers. Close Brothers are already part of the investigation into the commissions issue. which there'll be a bit more of that later on in the video. So I reported issues with Close Brothers early 23. Now some people might say, well, why did you leave it so long? So I had the initial fault in October 21 where the wheel bearings failed at 14,000. So initially I was told that's quite normal. So then I tried to get that in writing from the dealer and from Polaris or UK Tech. The reason I wanted that confirmed in writing was that then I would have the bearings changed at 12,000. If they normally go at 14, I'll have them changed at 12,000 because, to be honest, it cost money, but it wasn't the bank-breaking amount you'd think it was. So I wanted to stay safe. I wanted my wife to stay safe. We bought the bottom motorcycle to go touring on. Those bearings changed every 12,000 miles instead of every 40,000 when they potentially fail. The further I looked into it, the further I found that was incorrect. It's a poor statement. So if you roll on the time, months go by, I start getting issues with other areas of the motorcycle. So early 22, I was experiencing problems with sensors again. Started going over a period of about 3-4 months. Early 22. I then had the main issue, which I've still trying to get resolved, is from April to August there was brakes issues. You can't believe the amount of excuses that I was given. So that basically I was getting strung along a little bit with what was happening. So we were comparing the performance with other roadmasters we were riding with, and we were 40 to 60 miles down per tank of fuel. And then in August, when it went in for its 25,000 service, they discovered that the rear brake discs were blue. Now, considering they're supposed to, on a service, go through the calipers, go through the brakes, make sure everything's working correctly, I'm surprised they didn't know about this before. So this was obviously the reason I had issues for 4 months. So it took them that amount of time to actually work it out. So then after that service, my fuel consumption went back to normal. So I wrote to the dealer and said, look, to be fair to you, if it wasn't the rear calipers that were causing the issue, what did you fix? Nothing. They stopped talking to me completely, wouldn't reply in writing to me. So then obviously I then had to go through owners' connections, then through the dealers, etc, etc. So that sort of brings me to date, and now we're down to reporting Close Brothers because it's their responsibility. The reason for that is because it's under finance, so the bike technically belongs to them. So I don't know if it was due to my illness or me just completely misunderstanding, but I reported this in April 23. So at the time they said they couldn't deal with Polaris because they did not have a business working relationship with Polaris. They had one with Thor Motorcycles because they're the people that I took the finance out with, or mediated or brokered the finance with Close Brothers. So they obviously did have a business working relationship with them. So April 23, I'm supposed to have this deadlock letter, which I never saw till recently, and I'm supposed to have conversations with them. Now I found that out because the financial ombudsman told me that Close Brothers has sent them recordings and evidence that I'm supposed to have accepted the fact that there was a deadlock and they couldn't help me with Thor Motorcycles or Polaris, which is strictly not true, because in the letter they have only referenced Indian and stated they did not have a working relationship with them. So that basically means Polaris Britain. At no time did they state Thor Motorcycle. So after probably about another 4 months of waiting, trying to get information from Close Brothers, they've basically turned round and said that they've issued this letter in April 23. So the financial ombudsman, they have rules set in place that I have to contest that within 6 months. Obviously, I contest that I ever received it. That's number one. And number two, during that 6 months, I ended up in ICU. Financial ombudsmen say they can only change the rules for extreme circumstances. So I said I technically died. So apparently that's not an extreme circumstance. But there you go. Looking closely at the paperwork, I then put 2 and 2 together and worked out, no, they actually haven't deadlocked Thor motorcycles ever. So today I've had to reissue the complaint, which was reissued on the 29th of April this year. It's technically 12 weeks ago. They have to act upon that request within 8 weeks to give me a deadlock letter. So they're overdue a deadlock letter to me for Thor motorcycles. Once I get that deadlock letter, then I can get the financial ombudsman to look into this. Now, earlier on I said I was going to give you a bit of information about Close Brothers, or about the finance system. So from the start they've been telling me that I can't justify a complaint if it's gone past day 1 to 6 months. That is strictly not true. What that basically means is, if within 6 months of your finance you have an issue, it is their duty of care to deal with that for you. After that 6 months, you're then supposed to gain all the information and produce it to them. And you have 6 years in which you're able to do that. 6 years from when the agreement started. So my argument with them is, I've given you a statement, explain the whole situation, and I've itemised out the important bits that I have proof of, which includes a letter from UK Tech telling me the brake issue would cause the clutch and the other damage I did get. So they've admitted it. They just tried to do a scapegoat and said I misuse it because I use it as a touring bike and it's not designed for the roads in this country. Then also we have the current situation with a lot of the financial companies at the moment. The discretionary commissions. If you think you fall into that category, you're supposed to write to your finance company and ask. You don't have to get someone to do it for you. You can find it online. You can get standard letters online and follow it on that basis. As soon as you reported it to them, they have to respond to you, and if they respond to you into a manner that you will have a decision when the case is looked at by government, then you're included in that commission's area. If they write and say to you you're not included, then straight not included. But if you get a response back saying you've got to wait till, it was September 24, it's now being moved twice. It was moved to December 24, and now I'm told they won't even conclude any decisions till December 25. So yeah, good old government looking after its people again. So yeah, stuffed really on the financial implications of if they've done wrong with the commission side of things, which in my case they have. So a double whammy. So yeah, I thought I'd just give a quick update. Hopefully I haven't got to do a weekly one. Indian have got a massive opportunity, and if they don't gel and unite as one company and work completely separately like they are now, then they're not going to really take advantage of this current situation. But as I said, UK, we've got quite a few dealers now, but they're too spread out. Polaris Britain have made it clear they will not support independent garages, so straight away Harley Davidson have got an advantage, because most Harley Davidson owners can take their bikes to non-main dealers, which as an Indian owner you are very, very limited to how you can do it. So one, that doesn't give the customer much choice, and for two, it doesn't then give pressure to the dealers to do a better job. But anyway, see how we go.